What's up, guys? It's Chris here to give my predictions for this weekend's UFC 116, Lesnar versus Carwin for the UFC Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. First off, apologies for the video. I know I said I was going to put up yesterday. I tried, and the audio on my camera was not working. I don't know what was going on. I guess with the captions, I could have texted it in there at the bottom or something, but that would have been lame. Anyways, look forward to this fight. Unfortunately, obviously, as we all know, Vanderlei Silva fell out the card with injuries, but aside from that, the main event pretty much alone sells this card. Real quick on some of the prelims, I'm not going to touch them all because just not all that intrigued by some of the matchups. No disrespect to those fighters, though. The Kendall Grove-Goran Relic fight, that fight I was kind of looking forward to watching. It was going to be on Spike, but unfortunately Kendall made some disparaging statements about Spike TV and the UFC's relationship. Thus, he got pulled from the card. He got pulled from the televised portion of the Spike broadcast, that is. That said, Relics looked pretty good, although he lost his last fight. Kendall Grove wins one, loses one, wins one, loses one. But as long as his chin can hold up, which is asking a lot, because Kendall Grove does not have a good chin at all, as long as his chin can hold up to what Relic has standing, I think he can outlast Relic and beat him in a war, probably in a submission. So, going to give Kendall the benefit of the doubt and say he wins this fight by late submission. We got Ricardo Roma. This is the Spike TV portion of the card. Ricardo Romero against Seth Petrozelli. I don't even know who Ricardo Romero is. I believe this is his first fight in the UFC. Seth Petrozelli, or Petrozelli, former Ultimate Fighter contestant, Season 2. Also, the man who beat Kimbo Slice on Elite XC and pretty much destroyed that organization with one punch. I don't know why Seth's being brought back. Not to say he's not a decent fighter. I guess he's UFC caliber, lower tier, maybe just from the name, the infamy of beating Kimbo. They should have had the rematch. I could still sell. But I don't know anything about Romero. Like I said, he's got a good record, though, so going to go with Ricardo Romero to win this by decision. Brendan Schaub, Chris Teixeira. Man, why am I even going over these bouts? Brendan Schaub, Chris Teixeira. No disrespect, Chris Teixeira by decision. All right, on to the pay-per-view. Kurt Pellegrino against George Sotiropoulos. Pellegrino's a good wrestler, pretty good with the jiu-jitsu, submissions. Sotiropoulos looked really slick on the ground as of late his last couple fights. Improved stand-up. I'm going to go with Sotiropoulos here. Pellegrino's a better wrestler, but I think Sotiropoulos is better over on the ground. And I think he'll show that. Stand-up kind of evens out, but I'll go with Sotiropoulos by decision. Stephan Bonnar, Krzysztof Szczecinski rematch. First fight ended in controversy. I believe it was a stoppage, but it was by a cut or something, an accidental cut by elbow or a headbutt. I forgot what it was exactly, but not really a legit win for Stephan Bonnar, even though he got the win. So they made the rematch. First fight was pretty entertaining, if not the most technical stuff, but hey, sometimes those are the more entertaining fights to watch. Griffin Bonnar won for a perfect example. I favor Szczecinski. I favored him in the first fight. He was doing pretty good. It seemed like he was getting the better of it. And I favor him in this fight. Bonnar, I don't know, he just never reached that plateau that Forrest Griffin did for whatever reason. He just never was able to ascend to that level. So not to say Szczecinski's a world beater by any stretch, but I do think he's the better fighter here. So I'll go with Krzysztof Szczecinski by decision in another pretty good scrap, though. Chris Lato against Matt Brown. All right, these guys have fought before in the past, before they were in UFC. Pretty sure Chris Lato won that fight. Chris lights out Lato. Pretty similar styles, both like to stand and trade. Lato's better on the ground with subs. Matt Brown's probably a little bit better of a wrestler, but I don't see this fight hitting the ground. Both these, more so Chris Lato, he likes to fight to try to get fight of the night bonuses, to pad up his payday. Can't blame him, Smart strategies, worked for him numerous times. And it probably worked in this fight. This will probably get fight of the night honors. As for the who I think is going to win the fight, I'll go with Lato. Although I think he's got a lot of mileage on him, man. The guy has a lot of fights, been in a lot of wars, and then that beating Josh Koscheck gave him couldn't help. But I just think he's a way more technical striker of these two guys. Unless he's completely depreciated as a fighter and he has no ability to take a punch, I see Chris Lato winning this fight by decision. Although I wouldn't be surprised if this fight ends on a cut by either guy. But Chris Lato in a good scrap. Yoshihiro Akiyama against Chris Leben in the co-main event. Once again, Vanderlei Silva was supposed to be in this fight, but unfortunately got injured. Had to withdraw. Unfortunate, man. I was really looking forward to that fight. It was really an intriguing matchup. But Chris Leben, I think it's a good replacement because it's a very intriguing matchup as well, Chris is coming off that win over Aaron Simpson last month, or was it actually? I think it was this month at the Ultimate Fighter finale. And Aaron Simpson was the favorite one in that fight. I picked Aaron Simpson, but Chris Lieben was able to outlast him. He was able to have more cardio. Once he wore him out and defended the takedowns, was able to stop him. As for Akiyama, only one fight in the UFC thus far. Split decision win, I believe, over Alan Belcher. Good, solid fight. Akiyama, the one thing for him, he's a good fighter. Great at judo. Pretty good on the ground. Really good stand-up. Probably the best stand-up you're going to see from any former judo practitioner in MMA. By far, actually, I think. The only bad thing is he's undersized for middleweight. Not to say he should be a welterweight, but he's definitely a smaller middleweight. Similar to what Aaron Simpson is. You're going to notice, if you notice with the Lieben Simpson fight, Lieben had a big size advantage, and it's going to be the same thing here. However, I don't know how Lieben going through a full training camp and a fight, although he didn't take a lot of damage, and then jumping right into another training camp, how that may wear down his body physically. I think this is going to be a good scrap, but I think Akiyama's striking is a little more crisp, and although I think Lieben can take a punch, obviously, and can deliver one, Akiyama has shown he can take a punch pretty good as well. So I think it's going to go the distance, but I think Akiyama is going to outlast Chris en route to a decision by just, getting the better of it on the feet and probably using a couple of judo throws here and there and getting a couple of takedowns. But don't be surprised if Chris Lieben pulls the upset like he did against Aaron Simpson. On to the main event. Brock Lesnar, UFC heavyweight champion, defending his title against interim champion Shane Carwin. All right, the one good thing about me not being able to do my videos today is I got to watch the countdown show last night. Really good countdown show. Brock Lesnar, he's like the Floyd Mayweather of MMA. Not to say he's on that level of a fighter. He's not that dominant as Floyd is in boxing, but he knows how to sell himself and sell a pay-per-view. Very confident fighter and very polarizing in things he says, much like Floyd Mayweather. Either people want to see him win or people want to see him get beat. Same goes for Brock Lesnar. Carwin gave a good account of himself. Was talking about being the same size, strength, whatever as Lesnar, having the same wrestling ability. Brock pointed out an interesting thing, though. You may be the same size, same weight, but on a whole nother level athletically. And I do believe that. I do think Brock Lesnar is a much better athlete than Shane Carwin. Shane Carwin, as we all know, undefeated. All his fights ended in the first round. Obviously, he has the edge, I would say, in stand-up and in punching power. But I think Brock's going to look to take him to the ground in the first round and hold him down there and try to pound on him. And I don't know if Carwin's going to be able to get up. And if Brock's able to do that for the majority of the first round, I don't know how much gas Carwin's going to have after that first round. After withstanding a whole entire round of having Brock on top of you with that weight and defending his punches and stuff. Brock's getting better at the ground and pound, as we saw in the second Frank Mir fight. Now, Shane Carwin is a wrestler. He's a big, strong guy, so I won't be surprised if he is able to get up from under Brock Lesnar. But we haven't really seen him on his back a whole lot, except for in the Gonzaga fight where he got hurt. But obviously, Brock's a much better positional grappler, top position grappler than Gabriel Gonzaga is. I don't know. It's going to be hard to see if this fight goes to the second, third round, how either guy react. Neither of them have really gone too deep into fights, although Lesnar did go all three against Heath Herring. But I don't know. I think his size is more natural than Carwin's. I know it sounds kind of strange, but Carwin looks a little more built. Like if he didn't work out ever, he might not be as big. His frame doesn't look quite as big as Brock Lesnar, so I do think that Brock has a natural size and natural strength advantage. So if it stays standing, though, for the majority, I would predict Shane Carwin to win. Although he did get dropped by Gonzaga, who's not the biggest puncher. He did get up, he did recover quickly, and Brock, just his stand-up isn't that good, even if he does have a lot of power. As for Carwin, all he has to do, what he's got to do to win this fight, try to land a big shot on the feet. That's pretty much his best shot at winning the fight, and I think that's how he's going to do it if he does. But I don't see that happening. Like I said, I see Brock taking him down in the first, wearing him out, and probably doing the same in the second, and getting a stoppage by TKO on the ground somewhere, I'm going to say late second, third round. Now, obviously, Shane Carwin can win this fight at any time if it's on the feet with his punches, but I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar to win this fight by TKO. So that's pretty much it for now. I'll be back on Saturday night or Sunday, which is the 4th, so hopefully I'll be back Saturday, Yes, I'll get the requisite pun out of the way. Fireworks are going to come early this 4th of July. You know people are going to be saying it on the broadcast. You know Mike Goldberg's going to say it. You know he can't wait to say it. But anyways, I'll be back Saturday night or Sunday to talk about these fights afterwards. Want to hear your guys' thoughts on who you think's going to win the main event, who's going to win the co-main event. Till then, check me out on Twitter if you're interested. Link in the information part under the video as always. And until next time, guys,